This year marks the 100th anniversary since the race riots of 1919 and the harrowing stories of racial tensions of the time. At the end of the First World War, veterans were returning home after being demobbed. Many came home and found it difficult to find work. Race riots sprang up across the country, predominantly in port cities such as Glasgow, Newcastle and Liverpool. Black workers that had moved in during the war became scapegoats for unemployment. None more so than 24-year-old black seafarer Charles Wotten. Wotten was caught up in rioting and chased by a vicious mob near the Liverpool docks. Charles Wotten was eventually chased here to Queen's Dock by a crowd of around 200 to 300 people. With no police protection and the sheer amount of people following him, he was eventually pushed into the waters below. He was then pelted with stones until he drowned. There now lies a plaque in the Queen's Dock, the spot where Wotten was murdered. Despite this, the story of Charles Wotten remains relatively unknown.
Well, the reason why it's really important, not just for people in Liverpool but people across the country, is because it's one of the first documented racist murders in the country, and so historically, for no other reason, that's kind of why it should be seen as being important.
Now, to try and help bring the story of race riots to life, Liverpool Central Library, in partnership with the National Archives and literature organisation Writing on the Wall, have put together an exhibition about the events of 1919. The exhibition even attracted dignitaries such as the Lord Mayor, Christine Banks.
Our young people need to know the history of their city as well as the history of the country they come to and other countries, but this hasn't come into schools. It needs to get into schools.
The exhibition is now available for viewing at the gallery and will last until the 24th of June.